So I told you I would share with y'all the story behind the CD shoe drive. And so it started in ninth grade. The story come from ninth grade. I was in my freshman year of high school and I had a close friend. We grew up pretty much together, grew up on McRunner Street down in Dangerfield. And I had been to prison and everything, and I came home, so that was just like life after. But our ninth grade year, coming back after Christmas, I didn't have any shoes. I didn't have any shoes to wear back to school, for the new year, and I really didn't want to go to school. We were sitting there one day, getting ready to talk about school and, what we were gonna do when we went back, what we was gonna wear. And I had told him, I was like, man, hey, I don't have any shoes. And so he was like, why you got no shoes? I said, man, I pretty much, messed up my money, it's hard times, man, my mama, she's struggling. And so he had just got some brand new Jordans, brand new ones. I forget the number, but he gave them to me right there on the spot. He said, man, take these. And I told him, man, I never really wore Jordans. But he had told me, he said, man, you can have these and wear these back, man, so your confidence will be right, your confidence will be strong. And so I told him, I said, man, my confidence good with or without shoes. He like, man, but shoes just make it even better. And so we sat there, and I told him that day, I said, man, I appreciate it, man, we was more than friends, we was more like brothers, like every time I saw him, he saw me, we was like that type of brothers type stuff. And so from that day forward, I always appreciated it. Anytime I could do something to help him, I would always know that I would help him, and so fast forward, and I had went to prison for a little while, for about 10 years, 10, 15 years, and I came home and he was on hard times. And I remember what he did for me. I remember when, I didn't have, or my confidence was low. I remember the grace and the goodness of his heart towards me in that time when I didn't have. And so when I seen him on hard times, man, I always wanted to do something to show him that I appreciated what he did. Because it wasn't about the monetary value, it wasn't about what you did for me, I'm gonna do the same and that's it, but it was about the fact that he had put a love in my heart for him that it exceeded everything that I could think of. And so when he was on these hard times, I really, really wanted to see him get better. I wanted to see his confidence boosted up because, he had been shot in the head, his eye was missing. He had felt some real hard times. And so he ended up going to prison about 2015, 16, somewhere up in there. And we saw each other in prison and everything. I was kind of surprised that he was there, but nonetheless, he was there. I had been there for the last 10 years. And so I ended up coming home 2021. And so he was depicted to come home 2025. And so in that time frame, I had opened up the barber school, opened up the barber college, started working in the barber shop in Lindale. Everything in my life had pretty much continued to progress. And so when I heard that he was getting ready to come home, I was set on allowing him to come in and be a part of what was established, because when he gave me those shoes, and so I always remember that. And so 2 days before he's supposed to come home, we got word that they found him and they said, and he was dead.